Just a week past a race at the longest oval on a NASCAR circuit, the Integrity Ignite Series lights the fire, this time in Bristol Motor Speedway, a half-mile short track known for the action, the intensity, and the all-around great racing. This is the Skyfox Designs 200 and qualifying underway, led by the number 9 machine of Justin Morton on your screen. I'm your host for tonight's event, David Croyt. I hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast as Justin Morton spins as DJ Stagner wins the provisional pole battle for now. He's going to be 4,000 up on the Morton machine, as so far it looks like 18 drivers of the over 30 that are registered have taken a lap in qualifying. Thus far, the 64, the fastest of which Alec Daffin takes it up into the 3rd spot, that time by in the number 1 machine. Thomas Bressi, last week's winner at Talladega, looking to back up that success in one of the shortest tracks on the circuit as Hayden Pastorius makes his way to 5th. Timothy Johnson going to be 6th on the board. Joe Dinsmore going to be 7th. Jacob Fife now is in 11th, and Brandon Bernhardt going to be just inside the top 15. It's going to be Boomer Logan now in 19th, Alan Rowell in 20th, as a few drivers getting ready to take their laps in. It's going to be one getting their lap in this time by your Octane Series winner of last week. It's going to be Tom Wetmore in the 51, running double duty, it appears, this week in the number 51 Tube Tech Toyota Supra, but this time not going to be a Cup Series machine. It will be an Xfinity build, as up high the 51 goes on his first lap here in qualifying. And Bristol Motor Speedway, the half-mile circuit, very short. You could fit, if you talked about its race length and race laps, you could fit about 5 laps at Bristol in 1 lap at Talladega and still have room for pit road. 2.66 at Dega, and it's going to be 0.533 here at Bristol, one of the shortest tracks NASCAR tours at to this day, as Cal Filarski and Kevin Matz waiting to get on their way here in qualifying. It looks like Filarski there on pit road, and so is Kevin. Matt's Boomer Logan, though, comes off the stripe that time by. He's currently going to be in 21st, and now tries to get it up a bit higher. That lap will not be validated as Brandon Bernhardt makes his way in the number 81. The 82 going to be on pit road's exit this time by. Not going to be coming out once more as Tom Wetmore spins off corner number 4, and that's going to be end to his run as Boomer Logan is still getting extra laps in. Cal Filarski going to be there in frame once again in the number 6. So far, not a time lap for him. Wetmore able to take it up into 16th. That time through, gets himself right behind the top 15. As so far, Timothy Johnston makes himself known. He's 13 thousandths ahead of the 10th spot, held by Ford Smith. So far, as Joe Dinsmore makes his way into 11th. Nick Tarbuck, who almost got it done last Tuesday night, looking to make it so on a Monday night, having a great battle with Tom Wetmore down to the line at Gateway. A drag race, but it was not meant to be. Not able to get that momentum off the final turn, as now the 29 machine enters qualifying for his own. As Chris DeWeese, Alan Tart Images, and Jonathan Leisure, thank you all for stopping by. We're getting things started here in Bristol, and the number 29 going to pass by way high there as Carson Bechtel for his 2nd race of the season going to be on pit road, and his teammate of Trevor Trago looks to have not taken a lap according to our timing and scoring just yet. Looks like both of which have not, as it's going to be Kevin Matz in 24th and Cal Filarski going to be in 25th as Nick Tarbuck goes into 27th. Now, drivers such as Tarbuck, Filarski, and Matz have not gotten as much practice. Practice has been open since 8 o'clock Eastern, so about an hour's worth, including these qualifying laps to get some time in. Kevin Matz, as we always see, chooses to get himself a very, very lower position in qualifying, or not necessarily chooses, but finds himself there, and chooses, of course, to rise through the field all night long. One of those guys who comes alive in the race, as Nick Tarbuck now going to come alive in qualifying. He's now 4,000ths off of the man in front of him, and Justin Morton. He's 4th on the board here in qualifying. How about that for the man in the number 29? Going to be just outside of the front row in 4th. Oh, so close to your pole sitter as Kevin Matz makes it by once again. He's going to put his 6th lap down on the board that time through, and he's currently sitting in 25th. Braxton Deweese going to be on the way here and now in the Jeff Schmidt number 15. Currently is not taking a lap just yet. One of only 5 drivers who have not taken a lap, as Carson Bechtel still going to be on pit road. Braxton, though, going to get on his way in the Jeff Schmidt 15, riding aboard with him this time by. And Braxton there on the outside, and it looks like while we are in the Skyfox Designs 200, some guys taking the sky-high line to get some momentum built up here. That's going to be the case for Braxton as he gets into his first time lap, skating up just a bit high now. Bristol tonight. Not going to be a Daytona Night Racing, the simulator. Only going to be night condition if we really went all the way. It's going to be daytime here in the last great coliseum on iRacing, and that time by not the best lap, but going to be a good enough to put him in the top 15 if it validated. It looks like due to an incident, Braxton Louise still going to be at the bottom of the board, getting himself a bit more accustomed to the circuit, and that time by, he's going to be able to make it so. Position number, it looks like it's going to be all the way up to 16 on that second lap. He's going to back it in that time by. The 15 machine does. Kevin Matt's going to make it onto pit road. Looks like Tom Wetmore going to get it a bit drifted out of sorts and come right up the pit road wall. It looks like that might be it for his practice run, and that it appears to be. Carton Bechtel right now going to be the only man on the circuit. Matthew Thornhorse, Trevor Trago, and Brandon Wenger are the few drivers that have not chosen to get a lap in, as Nick Tarbuck still scored on pit road, and Braxton Louise now back out once again to continue his qualifying run, as a total of 28 drivers have taken laps so far out of what appears to be a field of now 32. Carson Bechtel waiting to get himself on the field. Braxton Louise going to be there though in that number 15, getting a bit more in, and it could be enough to get into the top 10. New tires, more experience, that's a great combination in qualifying, and it looks like a bit more of a lenient running here in qualifying in the Integrity Racing League, getting some more time in with less of a lap restriction that time by. It looks like Deweese going to be able to make a much quicker lap, getting himself up into 7th on the board that time by. The one and done on that run, and it sets him up to the top 10. Great move for him in that number 15, although it looks like no other driver going out for qualifying. Carson Bechtel now going to be off the circuit, and we can only assume that no other driver will go out for now. Trevor Trago, Carson Bechtel. Trevor Trago's there in the 37, but the 88's going to be Brandon Wenger, and then Matthew Thornhorst are those that have not gone onto the circuit thus far. So as we have just a bit of time, we'll try to get someone in, maybe in an interview, but we also have just enough time here for something else, and that's going to be your starting grid. Let's get that in. As you can see, Nick Tarbucket right there. Right there is the front of the back of it in the Wolf Cola number 29. And we have all this time to make it so. So as we wait for another driver to get onto the circuit, we're going to have some time for your starting grid for tonight's event to be displayed here in the Integrity Racing League, the Integrity Ignite Series. And we're here to light the fuse in Bristol for the Skyfox Designs 200. Now, not 200 miles. It's going to be a total of 200 laps, which comes down to just about 100 miles. And don't let that number deceive you. It's going to be a long race. A race of attrition. If we get any incidents, get some tempers flaring, cautions could be a big factor. But it all depends on how these guys drive it here in Bristol. One of the fastest half miles in all of America. So we do get a clean race. It could be nice and smooth all night long. It's all up to the jurisdiction of the drivers. I know the driver is going on. So without further ado, let's get your starting grid in for the night's event. Let up with the number 29 machine. No, but it will be let up with the man in the number 05 machine in Alan Dobbs. 15.04 going to be top of the board here in qualifying. Next up going to be DJ Stagner right beside him there. About 100th of a second off. The 64 machine is 15.054 for the man in second, as Justin Morton going to be 4,000s off in third, 15.058, and Nick Tarbuck going to be 2,000s off himself. Very little practice, but still going to have a lot of pace, 15.06 for the man in fourth. Alec Daffin going to be in fifth, 15.074. Thomas Bresci going to have a 15.075, 1,000th off there in sixth, as Braxton Louise going to make himself known in seventh, 15.08. Then it's going to be Hayden Pastore, 0.089 in eighth. From there on out, going to be Brian McFerrin in ninth, and Timothy Johnston in position number 10 as your 5-minute warm-up goes on just behind us. And 11th spot's going to be the man in the number 81 in Brandon Bernhardt. Then it's going to be Forrest Smith in the 12th spot. Travis McQuistion going to be in 14th, as Joe Dinsmore going to be on the inside of row number 7. And then it's going to be Cody Smith 15th and Rob Ackley position number 16. How about that there? It's going to be Jacob Fife in the 17th spot. It's going to be a 15.154 for him. Tom Wetmore going to have a 15.17 for his end. And then Cody Griffin going to make himself known 19th with a 15.18. Casey Shue gonna fit it just right. Gonna be 15.226 for the man. Rounding on the outside of your outside lane. It's gonna be, of course, the 10th lane. Casey Shue, 20th there on the grid. From there on out, going to be Gael Brooks in the 15.231 range. 21st for him. Daniel Foss right behind with a 15.243. Boomer Logan going to be there in 23rd. Alan Rodwell going to be in 24th. Kyle Cooper 25th. And Kevin Matt's going to be there in position number 26. Cal Filarski and then Don Stevenson make up your 14th row, 27th and 28th respectively. As from there on out, it's going to be Stevenson, the final driver, to take a lap on time with a 15.865. Matthew McDonald's going to be there as well with of course, no lap set. His qualifying spot going to be determined by iRacing in the 29th spot. Then it's going to be Trevor Trago in a position number 30. The remainder of the field going to go as follows. It will be Carson Bechtel in 31st, and then Brandon Wenchard in the 32nd and final spot. And that will be your starting grid for tonight's event in the Skyfox Designs 200. As you can see, a big wreck here in warm-up second practice, led by Hayden Pastorius so far, as it's going to be Jacob Fife, one of the few drivers to get by that major incident here, as we are indeed getting things warmed up. Jacob Fife going to be on his way, going down to the inside line there, getting himself accustomed to the way this car drives, and he's going to come down a pit road that time by, makes it in nice and smooth, and it could be a green flag race. You never know in the Integrity Ignite Series. We've seen some green flag strategy at Talladega, and we've seen it at road courses, intermediates, every place we've been to so far. Great strategy and great racing, so we will see once again tonight what happens and who comes out on top, as it's going to be Jacob Fife on pit road to get your ticker back on your screen. There we go again. The Skyfox Designs 200 going to be on its way in 2 minutes time, as the man on top of the board in warm-up going to be Hayden Pastorius. Forrest Smith going to be in second. Jacob Fife is in third, and Alec Daffin going to be there in fourth. Let's run aboard with the man in the number 9 team machine, leader in the second practice. And going up high that time by, looks like being a side-by-side battle with who else but the number 9 machine in Justin Morton. That time by, Morton going to be able to get the better of him, but it's going to be a bit of a slide job there, and using all the room on the circuit to make a pass just like that happen. A great move, as we are seeing some racecraft get developed in the formative stages of the night's event. We are still a few minutes out from the race beginning, so a lot of guys dialing themselves in one more time. Pastorius gets squirrely that time by, though. Forrest Smith going to be second on the board, usurped by Cody Smith, and Smith now going to be 42 thousandths off the man on the top seat, as the Smith second and third until Thomas Bressie gets to him, and now Bressie going to be second, 40 thousandths off. Now, usually warm-up times are a bit slower than that of qualifying, and that appears to be the case this time through. A lot more drivers on the track and a very small track, so your room for error is marginal at best and minimal at worst. So you can see Gaio Brooks going to be on pit road, Trevor Trago there as well, as they almost go 3 that time by. It looks like Cal Filarski going to be passed, Trago going to be moving with the number 83 machine of Daniel Foss going down to the lower line, and it looks like both lanes developing low and high. In iRacing, you are allowed to carry over the track's warmth and its degradation depending on which session you go to, so these guys might have to deal with a bit more of a used up track compared to we went for a completely clean slate. That remains to be seen though, as grooves developing up high and down low. Trevor Trago goes out of the inside line. It's going to be the 83 machine of Daniel Foss right there with him, and then Tom Wetmore gets right into the wall. He's going to cling it, and it's going to be all about keeping yourself off of that outside wall here in the last great Coliseum. And if you can't do that, you're going to be in an awful lot of trouble. Doug Middendorf, thank you for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. Every viewer watching tonight here in the Integrity Ignite series. And it's going to be RB71 now up into 5th as top man here in warm-up. Going to be Hayden Pastorius in the number 19. We'll see whether or not that translates into your race pace, as we will get your starting grid on your screen just about now. The Skyfox Designs 200 looking to get this one on its way. Going to be a foxtrot of pace, as Bristol Motor Speedway, one of the shortest tracks, but far from one of the slowest. So Alan Dobbs is going to be on frame in just a moment. He's already there, and you could see pit exit. We'll try to get it in. That's going to be one pit row, but this will be another. Bristol has 2 pit rows, and due to the amount of drivers we have, they will have to use both of which qualifying determines whether or not you're on the front or the back. So going to be a bit of a difference in strategy tonight, and if you can't choose wisely, or if you haven't gotten enough of a qualifying run in to get what you want, you will be in a big hole in strategy, depending on which turns out to be the best. If you get caught up in an incident in one way, one turn, or another, that could be game over, as Alan Dobbs with DJ Stagner, your front row, out in front indeed. And Dobbs looking to hold on for position number 1 tonight. 200 laps, 100 miles, and these drivers get about 2 miles in per minute. So the pace here, far from slow and far from a slouch. Any driver will be, as they look to be ready to grab a gear this time by, and bet they are. Alan Dobbs is going to be on his way. And going to the back of the field, only one driver looks to be not in this pit parade. And that's going to be Brandon Wenger. Carl Bechtel going to be back of the field, and Carson at the moment looking to get himself going, as he's going to be last of which to grab a gear, get a bit of tire smoke going to catch up. As now looks to be one extra lap at the short tracks on iRacing. 2 pace laps precede every main event. So that's exactly what you're seeing right now. It's going to be Alan Dobbs out in front, then DJ Stagner in second, Justin Morton going to be in third, and Nick Tarbuck rounds out your fastest 4, as we have one more paced lap before we get it underway here in the Integrity Ignite Series. The iRacing official pace car going to do the honors and take himself down a pit road and let everyone take it from there. Dobbs out in front, DJ Stagner on the high side, and we'll see which groove develops first. There's 2 grooves here that become dominant in the real racing. It's a low and a high, and sometimes they clash in spectacular fashion. Now, I'm certain that the attrition is going to be major if they do, but I don't believe the aggression will be all too high when we get this one started. That we will see. It all remains to be seen this time by, as it's going to be the man in that number 05 machine that leads us off when the iRacing official pace car is done, and here it will go. It's going to be lights off, and away we go here in the Skyfox Designs 200, led by Alan Dobbs, race 8 of the season. Here we go for the short track swing. Alan Dobbs going to be able to lead lap 1 quiet by a wide margin. Going to be quite handily margin. And you can see now side by side with the remainder of the pack. Justin Morton going to be on the inside line here. And it's going to be DJ Stagner as they come to their first caution of the night. Looks to be back of the field here. And you can see all the way to the back. It looks like one driver around. That's Brian McFerrin. Single car incident brings out your yellow. And he's going to go around for a wild ride very early here. And let's see just why. And that indeed is going to be a single car incident. Thankfully, he doesn't wash up the track, but that's a safety yellow immediately. So that's going to bring out yellow number 1, 3 laps in. And for Brian McFerrin's sake, thankfully, he does not go right back up the track. The only way is through is the sign, or rather the word marking embroidered on that quarter panel. And thankfully, he didn't go right through the field by diving right back up. So great for him to keep it going. He is currently, though, in 31st, so bad news there. And we'll see how hard he can be able to charge from here on out. Certainly going to be some damage, and hopefully for his case, not going to be major. Alan Dobbs leads out in front here from Bristol, as DJ Stagner holds on in second. Justin Moore going to be able to make himself known in third. Alec Daffin there in fourth as they come down to the stripe once again. And here we have it. Alan Dobbs there in first. DJ Stagner going to be indeed in second. And you can see that time by the inside line. Got the dominating start that was necessary by any driver. And it looks like it's one driver gets it. That is the 05. The low line is going to be able to prevail so far. And we will see if that holds on as the trend for the remainder of tonight's procession. That, of course, remains to be seen as we get into it this time by. And our caution lap, only 46 seconds here. So even our pacing laps are about as long as a race lap at Daytona. To put it into perspective, we will be getting through at least a lap a minute, even under yellow. So, unfortunately, first yellow coming out quite early here in the racing, as it's going to be Brian McFerrin down to pit road this time by. And it looks like going to be able to stay on the lead lap for now, as DJ Stagner and Alan Dobbs make their way through this time by. The 05 machine, though, not far away from another set of pit road, and it looks like this time by it could be McFerrin in danger. No, he's going to be able to exit and get himself back right on the lead lap. Going to be a bit of a scuff on the front end. We get a little bit more of a close-up shot, and you can see it is still there on the number 7 machine of Brian McFerrin. So Brian has a bit of a problem in his close-up drone camera here. Going to be able to tell the tail. The rear end, not as much of a problem, and you can see from there, not much either. So good to go for the most part. The man in the number 7 machine is, as we get back on our way. Alan Dobbs going to be out in front. Nonetheless, Here we go indeed. 6 laps in out of 200, going to be led by the 05 and the 64 once more. And the pace shark is not here, but the pace car is going to be able to lead him down this time by, and that it does. Restart number 1, lap number 7. Let's get right back into it. And now a hard charge by Alec Daff and DJ Stagner contend for the lead for only about a half lap's time. And now Daffin goes down to the inside line, which looks to be the dominant one in the formative stages of this event. He's going to be able to make it so and take it, though. And it looks like it's going to be Alec Daffin out in second if he can clear Stagner, and that he does. Look on the rear view camera of the Alec Daffin machine, and you can see the quarter panel. He's gotten it cleared all the way. That bumper is far out in front, and Stagner's now going to be chasing in third, as Justin Morton's going to be picking up the scraps in the fourth spot. So 10 laps in, we're already getting back to the battle, and out in front is going to be Alec Daffin and Alan Dobbs. Now Daffin, his best finish all season long was on the podium. He's got 1 podium finish this season, a sling or a string of top 10 runs. And right now looking to bounce back from a race such as Okayama or Talladega. So now Daffin goes out of the inside line once again, makes it so for just a moment, and he'll be dead even for the lead as they come down to the stripe, and that time by Daffin does not have it. Alan Dobbs does, and now Dobbs seems to be fighting with the unpreferred line. It's not going to be preferable at all for him, battling it way up high. Down to the inside, Daffin's going to be able to go once again, and you can see the flames right there. It's going to be a smoke show if they get into one another, but so far they have not. And now Dobbs looks to be the first man to make that outside groove work, and work quite well. Good maneuver for the man in that number 05 machine. Alec Dobbs going to be able to make it so as Alec Daffin chases him down. Justin Morton going to be there in fourth. Let's look through the field right now. Most of the field going to be single file. We're checking the battles. It looks like Nick Tarba going to be battling with Casey Shue that time by. This is the battle for the 12th spot. Now it's going to be the man in the number 29 trying to hold on. As you can see, going way up high. That number 4 machine going to be able to get a nice and smooth run, and that time by, they're almost dead even. And looking off for Casey Shue's quarter panel, not there just yet. Tarbuck has the edge, but down the back always gets that momentum, and now almost a quarter panel ahead, and both drivers in frame from one onboard shot, and the 29 loses the battle for now. Casey Shue makes it so, and the high groove coming in throughout the field. It looks like it's being adopted throughout every battle, no matter if it's the front of the pack, the middle of the pack, or the back of the pack. You can see down there, up high, most drivers are going, some going down, such as Stevenson and Karza Bechtel. Trevor Trago going to be there, as well as Boomer Logan, now the man in the catbird seat for being a lap driver. Not good for him, as he's currently about 9 seconds off of the man out in front. Brian McFerrin able to make it back up into 26th and gaining on Alan Rollo. That time by just about dead even, and this time through is going to be much quicker. It looks like he's going to be able to gain just about a few hundreds on that one. So closer and closer time after time as Alan Dobbs now going to have a bit more pressure from Alec Daffin once again. And Daffin keeping him on as time after time. Look at him go. The number 1 machine going to be there with the 05. And continuously these two continue to battle indeed. And time after time, Alan Dobbs makes it happen. He's able to stay out in front. Alec Daffin right there in second. Don't count him out, and don't count DJ Stagner out. Justin Morton, he's slowly but surely losing a bit of time as Braxton Louise comes into the frame for the battle in the top 5. So riding aboard the man in that number 15. Once again, take a look inside the cockpit. And getting it all the way revved up to about the rev limit of 8,000 revs a minute in these NASCAR Xfinity Series machines. It seems like pushing it all the way in gear is the way to go for Luis as he gets closer and closer down to the inside line, using that groove to his advantage as Thomas Bresci takes it just a bit higher, and you can see the leaders going multiple different grooves. Stagner down low. Looks like Dobbs through the middle now as Alec Daffin goes up high, and riding on board, you can see the fluctuation and the variation in lines time after time as Thomas Bresci still holds an edge this time through. But the Jeff Schmidt number 15 getting closer and closer no matter what. A battle in the middle of the pack seems to be between Travis McQuistion and the number 51 of Tom Wetmore. Wetmore going to be down to the inside line that time by, and the 93 McQuistion holds on, but not by much. It seems like a battle is brewing, and it is getting more and more intense. A lot of room on the circuit, but it seems like Tom Wetmore chopping down as we have a caution once again. Cal Filarski looks to have gotten way slow, but it will be Carson Bechtel involved. How about it? Joseph Grusz, thank you for stopping by. 25 laps in, it's Carson Bechtel involved in this wreck, and we'll find out just what happened to the man in that number 59. Instant replay on the matter. Looks like Cal Filarski involved. We'll take it back 10 more seconds. And Bechtel right there in frame with Filarski, and it looks like Cal gets into the wall, then hooks the number 59 and turns him right around, and not good at all. Trago almost catches a piece of it, and it looks like he does, but for his sake, it looks like very little damage, if any, getting a bit of a scrape from his teammate. But on his way, as Carson falls down at a dreaded 31st spot here, 31st and last on the board so far, 26 laps in, out of 200. And the 59 machine has some big rear end damage as they all catch up. Once again, Alan Dobbs, though, out in front by a considerable margin. That time through, Alec Daffin now in second, and it's going to be G.J. Stagner in position number 3. Justin Moore going to be with Thomas Bresci and Ben Braxton DeWeese in 6th. Hayden Pastorius, Forrest Smith, and Travis McQuistion go down to 9th as the last man of the top 10 is Tom Wetmore. So as we go back up to the front once more, Alan Dobbs settles the score, keeps himself in position number 1. Nice and smooth for him thus far as we continue to get this one on its way. 26 laps in, out of 200, the Skyfox Designs 100 has not been without pressure for the lead. Alec Daffin tried to take it high, and he was blocked multiple times over, and it seemed like on that run that we were watching off the onboard camera from Braxton and Weiss, these guys would go up, down, middle, no matter where they could go, they would take it, and it seemed like Daffin, one of those guys, going a bit lower. Alan Dobbs trying to fend 2 lines with 1 run. He went down to the middle, and the choose rule is in effect, and that is, in fact, why Alec Daffin might have to go down to the apron like that in the future, and it looks like it could be this time through, signaling to the drivers he wants that inside line. We'll see whether or not he takes it here, and it looks like coming down to the stripe, it will be Alan Dobbs right above the seam, and he's going to choose to stay up. Daffin goes down low, so he'll be starting on the inside line, and DJ Stagner going to go up high himself as we get back to it this time through. Alan Dobbs down in front. It's going to be 2 laps to do it, and I think they might shorten it down to 1 as every driver delegating themselves to one line or the next. Here we go again. And the choose rule going to give a guy like Alan Dobbs the edge on the high side to go whenever he pleases. Now, usually in oval culture, the left turn that we take most often, the inside line, the fastest through because of the lesser distance. But Bristol, the high side is developing. It's a short track, and the short track rules, such as the choose rule, have transmitted their impact over to the longer circuits in the NASCAR scene. Bristol All-Star Race 2020, that's where it all began for the NASCAR Cup Series and the choose rule, and it was Chase Elliott who won that race with a very, very unique looking machine. That was the only time that the NASCAR Cup Series machines ever used backward slanted numbers, a beautiful combination of paint schemes, but the numbers debatable. But one thing that stuck and did not get shook, it was the choose rule, and we see tonight here for that very reason. Hey, oh, I'm not sure where I want to go with that sentence, as it's Bristol. We're at Skyfox Designs 200. Alan Dobbs out in front, and he's looking to give these fans a reason to say whoa as we get back into it this time by the pink car going to be in. Once again, it's going to be Dobbs and Daffin out in front. Green flags out once more. And Dobbs out in front. We have a caution once again, and it's going to be a multitude of drivers. You can see smoke once again billowing from the back. As you can see, it's going to be Trevor Drago losing time. Boomer Logan back of the pack, and this one going to send Kevin Matz down a pit road. Let's check it back 30 seconds once again, and here we go. Kevin Matz in the wall by that point. Boomer Logan there as well. So let's take a look back once more. 31 laps in out of 200 and find out just why. It seemed to have happened as soon as this restart occurred. And it's going to be Kevin Matz who lost it there on the restart. Looks like he might have missed a shift or something. And that's going to send him down to Boomer Logan. And he's going to have some big damage as a result. Let's watch on board this time by. Get a look at the insight we can get from the way the number 50 machine got it going. And it looks like something goes wrong there immediately when it comes to shifting. And we heard a bit of a peculiar noise there before we got it going, but it might have just been a misshift. It might have been hitting the clutch or something or other, but it looks like the tires spin, and he will not be in the cards to win, as the number 50 machine of Kevin Matt's going to be there in 31st, and now going to be the first man to go laps down as the number 1 machine, and Alec Daffin holds fort in first. We'll see how long he's able to hold that spot, as currently there for quite a long while. Well, Alan Dobbs has been, but now Alec Daffin looks to put himself in the pack, in the fray, and he might just want to keep it there and might just want to stay. DJ Stagner going to be in 3rd, Justin Morton's there in 4th, Thomas Bressie is in 5th, and Braxton Deweese holds on in a 6th. Now, trace it back to a message we saw in the chat room tonight. Once again, thank the Braxton Deweese Racing fans who always come out for these broadcasts in the Integrity Racing League. Greatly appreciate your support. Now, Chris, an often chatter here, we'd love to have his feedback. It seems like the Deweese family is a big fan of Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, Braxton is showing it, and he is showing it as well as anyone could. As it stands, the number 15 machine going to be there in the 6th spot. Fisher Studios, thank you for stopping by. Greatly appreciate your support. And as a proud partner of the Saturday series, great to have you here on Mondays as one of our Monday men. Braxton Deweese, just outside the top 5, and we just mentioned him, a fan of Bristol, and he is doing it justice, as he's currently just outside the top 5. Alec Daffin holds on in first, though, and we'll see when they go down on the inside line or the outside on the choose rule where he opts to go. This time by, he has every opportunity to go high, go low. It's all up to him. Alec Daffin, knowing he can sort of block the method or the strategy of Alan Dobbs, whatever he chooses. Will change it all, as DJ Stagner right there in 3rd, and it's going to be Justin Morton in position number 4 now, as Stagner gets right into the outside of the podium. Nancy Wetmore, Alan's Art Images, thank you all for stopping by. Have not missed all too much, 34 laps in at a 200. We're just getting things started here in our Monday night, showing you the Integrity Ignite Series. Great to see. As it's going to be AV8_Django. Thank you for stopping by. Great to see some new chatters here tonight. And Gael Brooks right now looking to do well indeed, and currently going to be not where he wants to be, of course, getting involved in incident early on. But it looks like the 71 machine is going to be position number 21. Has a lot of room for improvement here. And the night is young in Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great coliseum. Sure to produce some parity as the night goes on indeed. Let's get back into it this time by, though. It's going to be Alec Daffin with Alan Dobbs. And Daffin goes up high. So we'll have one more lap of pacing before we get everything sorted out. This time through, it's going to be Kevin Matt's 4 laps down. He's going to be back on the circuit. Cody Griffin going to be last man on the lead lap, and the remainder of the field seems to be in tow as the number 1 and the number 05 lead him back to the line. This time by, it's Daffin and Dobbs to do it, and the front row battle continues as it's going to be Thomas Bressie, who started in that top 4 right there. DJ Stagner, who started outside front row. He's real close himself, and we'll see whether or not he's able to close that gap and make it an indistinguishable battle between 3. Indistinguishability, that's what you want in that leading battle. Stagner looks to take himself right up there, not looking to stagnate at all. Alec Daffin going to be in first. Alan Dobbs is in second. Let's get right back into this time by. Green flags out, led by the number 1 machine. And at a track like Bristol, we often give it about a lap or so to make sure that we all air it out. And you can see right now, airing it out, it's going to be clean air for Alec Daffin. Alan Dobbs going to be in second. And the battle going on here between Deweese and Bressie. Justin Morton going to be there as well. And they're going to be double file right now. It's going to be position number 5 and 6 side by side. And then it's going to be Travis McQuistion and Hayden Pastorius right there in tow. Now, Pastorius at Talladega had a great run in the middle of the race. He was blocking lanes, making the switches effectively and efficiently, and he was far from a hazard all night long despite some very controlled aggression. As you can see, now it's going to be Travis McQuistion in a bit of trouble. Will he save it? Yes, he does. That's going to be caution, though. And it's going to be another caution reason. That is the number 43 machine, Alan Romwell, at the same time as that incredible save. It looks like the 43 not going to be able to hold on in the same vein. We'll find out just what happened to the man in the 43 and Alan Romwell. Now, Rollo that time by with Cal Filarski, and you could see Filarski there in the number 6 machine, and he goes right up, and Filarski tags him there and sends him right down to the inside line, inescapable there, and it's going to be a self-cleaning track, not like Dover in the banking sense, but when you're turned at that angle, there's nothing much you can do. Rollo back on his way, but certainly going to be some crucial and critical damage as the night goes on. It looks like not the best showing in the back of the pack for that battle. The 43 machine going to lose a lot of time, pace, and he's going to gain one thing, and that one thing is damage. Right now, Alec Daffin out in front. Alec Daffin going to be right in front of Alan Dobbs as DJ Stagner holds fort in the 3rd position. Justin Moore going to be in 4th. How we get an interview tonight. Let's see who will be first available here in Bristol, and it looks to be, well, we'll see whether or not it is going to be Alec Daffin, because I don't see him in a voice chat just yet. It looks like at the moment that he is not. How about Alan Dobbs, the 05 machine, because currently Dobbs is in position number 2. Will be a great addition to the broadcast. A lot of insight out in front. We'll get a word with the man in the 05 and Alan Dobbs. Give it just a moment, and he should be here right about now. Alan Dobbs, second on the board tonight. How you feeling out in front from Bristol?
Hey, I felt a lot better in first place, but we got caught with a bad caution. One was in front of us when it came out. So, I don't know. At this point, there's just been so many cautions. It's hard to get into a rhythm or anything. Like our tires aren't getting worn out like they should, and there's a lot of heat cycles on them, so we're not really sure how they're going to end up doing. But I don't know. There's a long way to go in this race, and we just got to survive it.
And it's going to be all about survival of the fittest, not even a quarter of the way through here, so still a lot of time. And with that being said, it looks like high line and low line both have been developing just about even here. So what's it going to take for you to come out in front on these restarts?
It's really hard. The restarts are really tight. When you're following the iRacing restart zone speed limits, the high line, if he's going 40, the inside line has to go like 38, 39 to not get in front of him. So it's really hard trying to manage that and not get a black flag. Trying to get into line, really. I don't want to get stuck on the inside.
And it's all about keeping yourself out in front, not getting stalled out here, and tires not warming up, so it's going to be all about these ever so crucial restarts. Now, as we get back into it in just about a lap or two's time, what's it going to take to come out in front here, and any final thoughts?
Yeah, we just got to be there at lap 200 to have a chance, so that's what we're going to do.
And all about executing at the end, not about where you start, it's about where you finish, with Alan Dobbs starting well, hoping to finish well here in second at the moment. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
And Alan Dobbs is going to be back on his way in the 05 machine. Now, Dobbs currently going to be in that runner-up spot. However, going to be going up to the high side this time by, and it looks like DJ Stagner now going to go down to the inside, and the safety car will be on its way very shortly. Mike Orth, thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. As you can see, Alec Daffin right there with the 64. They're double file as is, and it looks like these drivers get a bit set up early. That's going to be a bit of an advantage in getting yourself acclimated to where you are in relativity to other drivers. Now, we look in the front of the pack, been the same 3 or 4 guys out in front all night long. But in the middle, drivers are going up and down and around. You can see drivers such as those who have been involved in incidents. Take, for instance, how about the man in that number 6, Cal Filarski, at the tail end of the field with Alan Rowell. But what about another man involved in the wreck? Gael Brooks going to be there with drivers such as McFerrin, a first lap involvee. It's going to be Don Stevenson, not involved with the wreck just yet. So it's going to be all about the difference in drivers you have around you. Take help where you can get it. It's not going to be all about draft. It's going to be all about getting a clean run in. And that's, of course, what we hope to see this time by Daffin. Going to be with DJ Stagner. Let's get right back into it this time through. Restart's going to be on its way, led by the number 1 machine once more. Alec Daffin on the move right now as the battle right outside the top 5, getting furious. Hayden Pastor is going to be there with Tom Wetmore in that 8 machine in terms of position anyway, as Justin Morton can keep himself up on the high side, battling Thomas Bresci. Double file the 9 machine, almost gets to the wall there, as it looks like Pastorius and McQuistion Gonna have a run up right with that wall. Braxton Deweese gonna be right in the middle of a big battle. Deweese now goes up to the high side on the 24, and a fan favorite here, the Jeff Schmidt number 15, has been all season long, and right now gets right into the wall. Just gonna be a minor scathe. Not too much damage, not going to be major to say the least. As they come to the quarter-way mark, it looks like it's going to be the 15 right in front of Thomas Bressie. Going to be right there. Hayden Pastorius, Tom Wetmore going to be in the mix. As you can see, double file behind the battle for the top 15. That's going to be Nick Tarbuck watching Jacob Fife and Brandon Bernhardt go right at it. And Bernhardt in that number 81 looking to join the fun as it goes down and in once again. Well, the drivers have finished top 2 in your bracket earlier on in the season. Second bracket has begun ever since the plate race at Talladega, so he's in the car to get it done. Once again, Tyler Hensley came over the first bracket last season, not here, or rather last time around, and a new season, so to speak, in a different sense for that paid bonus. Right now, though, the man in the number 81 looking to get himself a bit higher. He's currently in 15th. Nick Tarbuck going to be in 14th. Jacob Fife in position number 13, looking to get himself into that top dozen as he's right behind Casey Shue. Will it fit for him? It looks like so far that it has. Timothy Johnson, always one of those drivers with a silent top 10 night, and tonight, once again, in the USAA machine for the 82, it seems like he's right there in tow with Casey Shue as the battle between McQuistion, who looks to be a bit damaged, and Forrest Smith right in front of him. And as they get into a groove, once again, with the longer runs we've seen so far, you can see that it's going to be all about picking up the pace in that longer turn. Now, even though the number 93 has some damage, it is indicative from the marking on that right side. It's not major, and it does not appear to be terminal by a long shot. The 84 goes down to the inside line once again. Number 213 Simwer looking to make it all fit just like Casey Shue as he goes out of the inside of the 93, and it looks like that time through McQuistion with damage with about half a tenth of a second slower. Not a major gap, but it is still going to be a gap that these drivers can take advantage of. A big battle in the top 10, as now it's going to be Braxton Deweese in 4th, DJ Stagner in 3rd, the top man of Alec Daffin out in front by a half a second. Not bad indeed, as it's going to be the big battle here between the 83, the 84, and now it's going to be the man in the 4 settling the score for his own. Down to the inside, Forrest Smith going to be there now, barely in 12th, as Casey Shue gets himself into 11th, and Travis McQuistion somehow defends for his life and keeps himself just inside that top 10. And riding aboard the man in that number 93 machine, that's going to be Travis McQuistion. You can see Timothy Johnson right there to the inside line. It's going to be Casey Shue. A big run from Johnson, but he's going to be much less aggressive than what we've seen for the most part. All about patience, and right now the 82 going to be a major example of what patience can get you, as he's right now methodically working his way up through the field. The battle has become a bit more of an organized exhibition as the 82 goes out of the inside line. That time by, not much of a battle, almost clear off exit that time by, and you can see now down once again. The 82 holds on barely, dead even that time by. Nobody's clear as Casey Shue gonna get himself real near the 81. That could have been a wreck. Thankfully for his sake, able to save it, and Jacob Fife gives him just enough wiggle room to keep it going. Gonna be all about the give and the take right now. Some drivers have to give so others can take. It'll be a vice versa format all night long. Every battle has its antithesis, and every battle has its antidote. Right now, Trevor Trago in the 37 goes out of the inside line on Thornhorst, who is the number 8 numerically, and now the 3 right there with them, getting by Daytona winner in Rob Ackley. That seems to be the move. Ackley, your pole sitter last time we went racing in Talladega. The slash and go graphics 2, 3, 4. Not the best night for him so far. Quietly running in the top 20. Still room for improvement, as we tend to say for drivers. There's always room for improvement, but quite frankly, right now, going to be in a bit of a gridlock here as the battle line in front, it's been fluctuating much more. And Timothy Johnson, the big winner so far, as Hayden Pastorius gets chased down by Tom Wetmore in the number 51. And Wetmore trying to make it happen down to the inside line in that number 51. As we have just a bit of time here in a green flag run, we'll take you to our first Next Level Racing break for the night. Next Level Racing, high performance sim racing products since 2009. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information. A proud partner of the Integrity Racing League and the Integrity Ignite Series. We will be right back. we get back from our first Next Level Racing advertisement break there. It's going to be Next Level Racing, high-performance sim racing products since 2009. Visit nextlevelracing.com once again for more information. Winner of the Integrity Ignite Series Championship this year gets a $2,000 in value sim rig, an entire cockpit for whoever comes home on top. And right now, Alec Daffin on top here in Bristol by a wide margin. We also took that advertisement break to fix up our drone shot cameras to give you a higher quality image. And the number one machine, you could see all the movement up, down, and around. He goes down low in the turns, goes right up high on the straights, and he is so far from every other driver so far. It appears he'll be able to cruise from here on out, but it ain't over till it's over. And Daffin, with a lot of race-winning pace, he'll have to execute upon it as the night goes on. We'll see whether or not he's capable of doing just that, as so far he's out in front by a wide margin. Alan Dobbs going to be in second, and DJ Stagner right there in third with Braxton Weiss position number 4. But not without some contention. Thomas Bressi goes down to the inside line, and he's looking to make himself part of this equation. And that time by, he's going to send DeWeese right into the wall there. Going to be a real close battle, and now Braxton falls down into 6th. Justin Morton gets by for 5th, and Bresci, oh so close to some major contact, able to get away with some minor scars on that machine. Thankfully for his sake, not all too much, and he'll keep it going nonetheless here in Talladega. Well, he was a winner at Talladega. Here in Bristol, Tennessee, going to be right there in the front of the pack, looking to go 2 for 2 following Talladega. So far, it looks to be feasible. We'll see whether or not he makes it achievable as Alec Davin gets to his first set of lap machines, one of which going to be the man in the 43. That is Alan Rawa, position number 1. Daffin is, and Rawa going to be going down for the first time. A driver goes down a lap on pace. Boomer Logan going to be down in the middle of the pack here, fighting with the man in the number 7 machine and Brian McFerrin, and the 71 in Gael Brooks. 77 laps in, and as we're getting our longest run of the night, tires might begin to warm. Now that time by, we'll look in the middle of the pack here for a bit of a better example. Jacob Fife, fighting Hayden Pastorius, ran a 16.359. His best lap is a 15.501. So right now, degradation in about a 1 second a lap range compared to your all-time best as a driver. So as we continue to lose slowly but surely more pace and more time, it appears the number 8 machine might have to ponder whether or not he has to come down pit road very soon, as we've almost gone about halfway on this stint alone. So unbelievable circumstances as 79 laps in, becoming 80 laps in. Many drivers have chosen to go the entire way so far on this one set. We'll see how long they choose to go for it here on out, as almost 100 laps in, Alec Daffin has the lead by 0.8 of a second, but DJ Stagner, that time by and the time before, has been faster, and he's getting faster and faster time after time. That time by going to be 600 of a second faster, and this time through as Alec Daffin settles the score with a 16.365. It's going to be DJ Stagner with a 16.312. So getting quicker and quicker every roundabout. Alan Dobbs losing a bit more time, unfortunately for his case. Doesn't have it in store right now. Thomas Bresci going to be in 4th, and Justin Morton is in 5th, as now the battle for that top 3 is getting major, and the podium fight is indeed on here in Bristol. And you can look at him go. Bresci going to be right there in tow, right behind Dobbs, and right in front of Morton. And that's a big pressure-filled spot to be in the middle of a major battle such as this. With multiple competitive drivers right around you, you have to be on your A game lap after lap. Here's another close-up shot, courtesy of the FTN camera crew here, and you can see a next-level drive for Bresci as he goes down to the inside line trying to get that drive off. Does he get it? It looks like he does, but not going to be just enough just yet. Alan Dobbs gets up to the high sky and skates right away, and Bresci merges right back up, consolidating his line and choosing to mimic it in such a fashion that he gets a better run off with a bit more momentum up high. The best of both worlds, he chooses to take it, and now it's going to be a battle between these two as Justin Morton, not too far behind, still lays in tow. And look at the rear end shot. You can see Morton goes up as about as high as you can get. Looking at a bit of a wider angle once more. The 24 is still in position number 4. And Morton goes up higher than all 3 in total. And you can see The number 24 right there, Alan Dobbs still holds them off. DJ Stagner is in second here as Alec Daffin settles the score. He's still leading right now, but only by about 0.5 of a second. And as track conditions are changing, the sunny skies are becoming a bit more overcast. It could be overdue for a change in the lead, and that's certainly what DJ Stagner is thinking right now. Second on the board, 88 laps in out of 200, and it's going to be Thomas Bressi now dead even with the Alan Dobbs machine getting a bit of a lunge in on the inside line. That time through, does he get it? It looks like he's going to be a better drive off, but not enough to clear him. Side by side, they still are. Justin Morton looking to pick up the scraps if they do wreck. 89 laps in. That time around, Bressi has a major edge. Not going to be clear, though. Will the high side be utilized effectively that time by? It looks like it is, but not enough. And now Thomas Bressi gets himself right into the third. And it's going to be Justin Morton in fifth, looking to pick up the scraps indeed. He goes down to the inside line on Alan Dobbs, and not able to make it so that time by. Washes up, and they're going to touch a bit. And now Morton going to skirt right up the track, able to save it. But he's going to be in a lot of trouble with Braxton Louise now chasing him down. And Louise is going to bring Fife, Johnston, and Nick Tarbuck right there with him, so watch out if you're Justin Morton. Tire wear going to be a bit more of an amplified factor thanks to that slip and slide. And now Braxton Louise much faster. 92 laps in, cautions out once again. Rob Ackley and Casey Shue, this one's going to be a big one as drivers continue to pile in, getting themselves situated. The 22 down and around. Let's find out just why. Now, getting right by the number 43 of Alan Rawa. That appeared to be the goal for the 22, although it does not appear that Alan Rawa was involved in this incident at all. Let's see, as it looks like that's going to be the man of Carson Bechtel going up to try to avoid Rawa, then gets into Casey's shoe, then destroys Rob Ackley there, and nothing more can be done. Looking at the close-up shot, front and destroyed, and that's going to be all she wrote for the 22, and it looks like Kyle Cooper right there in the back able to avoid it. Or Smith there in tow, and the 4 machine of Casey Shue gonna have a bit of damage himself. Nothing all too critical when it comes to motors blowing, but no fast repairs from the Integrity Racing League, and that's gonna be disastrous regardless of how much damage or how little damage it is, as a good majority of the drivers come down to pit road this time by. Daffin stays out, and it's going to be Stagner, then Bressi, then Allen, Dobbs in tow. This could be a bit of a tire advantage when it comes to a longer run for Alec Daffin, but the good majority of the field thinks better of it, and they all come down to pit road this time by, unless, of course, they have another pit stop to go do, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of guys going in, but not the right stall, so not sure what's going on there, as they all take up another half lap on pit road and make their way in this time through. It's going to be the number 64, nonetheless leading them in, and it looks like it's going to be everyone coming down the front pit road. The front stretch pit road going to be all active, and it looks like a few drivers stay out with Alec Daffin. They will be lap machines nonetheless, and it's going to be Alan Dobbs on that pole position pit stall. Will he be able to get it done this time by? We will see. Stagner's there in second. Justin Morton is in third, and drivers rushing off already. Thomas Bressi not going to be able to beat out Stagner. Then it's going to be Bressi, Dobbs, Justin Morton, Timothy Johnston, followed by Jacob Fife, Nick Tarbuck. Then it's going to be Matthew Donos, Don Stevenson. Then Tom Wetmore, Hayden Pastores. Then it's going to be McQuistion, Bernhardt, Trago, Cody Smith going to be with Kaysen Buchtel. And then it's going to be the man in that number, 71, in Gael Brooks and Kyle Cooper. And everyone gets themselves nice and smooth through. The number 1 of Alec Daffin has joined the fun, and he's been up there for quite a while. Still is your race leader, but a much different change in direction for his movement, as Carson Bechtel there in the 59 machine, one of the final drivers off, and it might be the final man on the cycle, Alec Daffin, if he chooses to go in. Right now, though, DJ Stagner is second on the board, and Stagner, we'll see whether or not he's available for comment. At the moment, it appears that he is not. Alan Dobbs, we've already gotten a word from him how we get one for the man who won last week. We're going to do it all over again. It is a driver in that number 24 machine. We still have a bit of time to get it done. So Thomas Bressi, fourth on the board right now. Looks like the first pit cycle about halfway in. What's it going to take from here on out with just about over 100 laps to go?
I'm not sure. Just trying to pace myself. The tires are, just trying to pay attention to that. The one stayed out here, so that's going to be fun on this restart. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I didn't really want to be in the third lane, but I think it's better than starting behind like almost 100 lap old tires. So, just trying to be patient if I can. And I guess I don't want to say force it where you have to, I know, but, I'm just trying to find clean air. At least it's a day race, so we can move around a little bit, but, just taking care of the tires has been the big thing so far.
And tires have been taken well care of from your operation there. A nice and smooth run, fighting for the podium last time around. 1 lap to green this time by, though. We'll keep it brief. So any final thoughts before we get back into it?
No, I just hope everybody's enjoying the race. Obviously, we're halfway home and finally got some green flag laps in there, which was nice, instead of all those quick cautions, and hopefully we can maybe run it all the way to the end.
And that's what we love to see. Long run might favor the man in the 24, currently just outside the top 5. Thomas Bresci, thank you for your time.
Yep. See you, dude.
We get him back on his way. The man for JT Motorsports back on the move. And Bresci now going to be behind Alec Daffin a few rows deep. And it looks like it's going to be the inside line for some. That's going to be the proving ground. Kelly Allen, Allen's Art Image. Thank you all for stopping by once again. 98 going to become 99 laps in this time by. Here we go. Once more as Daffin going to be there with Stagner on a great jump for the old tires. Green flags out once again. And a perfect storm for the man out in front, but it's going to be a much less perfect storm as we have a big wreck with Alan Dobbs. We're trying to cycle right back to it. Caution flags out with 100 laps to go. Alan Dobbs just there in frame. And that is a big one. Morton going to be involved. 2 race contenders, big contenders in the winning circle. And it's going to be the man of the 05 machine getting squirrely, gets into Jacob Fife, and then goes back down in to Justin Morton. How about that? A major hit for Dobbs and Morton. Big time maneuvers there as they go right into the pit wall. Dobbs gets sideways, almost blows over. And Justin Morton going to be just about killed as well. 2 front ends ripped right off, and the yellow flag out that time by, not for the old tires. Alec Daffin holds on, but Alan Dobbs and Justin Morton do not. That's going to be yellow flag once again. Halfway into this one. 100 laps to go. We got 100 in already. And you can see DJ Stagner is your race leader nonetheless. Looks like gets by the Alec Daffin machine. Nice and smooth. So what he wanted, he certainly got it. We'll see how long we can go from here, as now going to be 99 laps to do it. And the man in that number 1 machine, Alec Daffin, goes into pit road. It looks like that's all she wrote for the man in the number 1 on his first stint, as he waits and perhaps awaits a chance to get that strategy back on cycle. So as it is, it's going to be DJ Stagner in first, Timothy Johnston there in second, and then it's going to be Alec Daffin, who falls down to third and falls much further than that, going down this time by all the way below the top 10. Top 15, and might even go down below the top 20 here, as we currently have a total of about 25 drivers on the lead lap. Alan Dobbs currently going to be the last of which, but Braxton Luis is in fact the last of which. He's 24th on the board at the moment if we don't count Alan Dobbs here, and Dobbs looks set to go down to pit road to get some damage repaired, and I'm certain there's going to be some required damage. iRacing does categorize damage differently in some circumstances. Minor damage usually tends to be optional, but required damage is something like a motor being in dismay, and right now that 05 machine is not far off of an unusable car. So right now, Dom's going to be in trouble. 98 laps to do it though, and DJ Stagner holds on out in front. Timothy Johnson going to be in second. Jacob Fife is there in third, and then Nick Tarba going to be in fifth, right behind the Thomas Bresci machine. Once more, we'll wait one time around before we get your guys back in formation, and then one more before the race gets back underway. So a lot of time to prepare once again. DJ Stagner leads at the halfway mark here in Bristol. So about half the way through, just a bit more than that now. And with that being said, it seems like patience has paid off for the 64. Stagner going to be in first. Timothy Johnston there in second. Jacob Fife makes himself known in third, and Thomas Bresci right there in fourth. These guys out in front have had one thing going for them so far. It has been the strategy. Now, pace has been major, and Jacob Fife, he's been in that battle for the top 10 all race long. Not a slouch at all, just making way up on perfect strategy. Right now, though, DJ Stagner overall might be the fastest man on the track, cumulatively, to say the least. He was gaining on Alec Daffin before the tires ran to their end, and now got the lead on the restart. Would be time to shine for the 64. If he gets this one done, I would not be all too surprised. He's one of those guys to look out for as we get back in with this time through. Going to be led off by the man in the 64. Next lap around, we'll go back under green. Double file we are already. One more lap before we get it back underway, as it's going to be Jacob Fife with Thomas Bressi on the second row. First row, though, going to be the 64 and the 82. So let's get it with this time by number 64 with a number 82. Your front row led off by the Chevys and the Toyotas. The top Ford on the board going to be the Matthew Thunderous machine in 7th. It is the Bow Ties game and the Silver Ovals there in playing field. It's going to be all about what they do so far now. It looks like we've seen one run on tire. It went about 96 laps. We now have 95 laps to go. So we could go from here on out. If a driver does come down to pit road, decides to call it a night for one set, their other comes back on and they should be able to go. But tire degradation on a long green flag run, it is evident, and it is going to play a factor. Now, that all depends on whether or not we get those long green flag runs that, of course, you'd love to see. So now coming down and in the 64 with the 82. Jacob Fife there in third, and then Thomas Bressi in fourth. Let's get back out of this time by. Going to be a green flag once more, and it's going to be led by the number 64. Side by side for the lead indeed. It's going to be the number 82 machine of Timothy Johnston there with DJ Stagner. Thomas Bressi goes up high there in the 3-wide line. It's going to be taken, but no one to go 3 wide with as Bressi stays up high, looking to build some momentum. And he said that this is a day race, so the grooves do develop quite a bit differently. The high side is feasible, the low line is feasible as well. So every driver taking what they've got in store. As Stagner now out in front, Timothy Johnston going to be there in second. Then it's going to be Thomas Bressi in third, but not for long as Bressi gets a major run and goes powering up to the high side. And once again, Stagner going to be there out in front though. And now with a bit of a defensive maneuver in the middle lane, the 64 knows he's got a rival here, and he goes down and in once more to try to block the man in that 24. The blackout number 64 looking to go lights out on the field here, although it looks like the 24 has caught some magic and looking to go for the second win of his campaign this year in the Integrity Ignite Series, getting, of course, his first win by 22 thousandths of a second. Last time we went racing at Talladega, got oh so close at races such as Rockingham, Richmond, and Atlanta, but now looking to make himself a contender indeed. Timothy Johnston there with Hayden Pastorius. Tom Wetmore going to be in the mix in 5th. Jacob Fife is in 6th here as they barrel in once again. 89 going to become 88 laps to go, and Stagner holds on with Bressi, and you can see Hayden Pastorius there in 3rd. And the battle just inside the podium rages on as the battles throughout go as hard as they can. It's going to be now Travis McQuistion with Nick Tarbuck. You can see Brandon Bernhardt in the mix as well. Going to be a bit of smoke there as it looks like Don Stevenson gets raked out of the inside of Bernhardt, and Bernhardt might use just a bit of that running line, a bit too much, and it's going to be all about limitations and conservation here in Bristol. As down to the inside line, Don Stevenson makes it so, and 81 has hit that barrier 2 laps in a row. Not good for him at all. 86 to do it. He's losing time, losing all that opportunity, as now he's got Trevor Trago and Kyle Cooper on his back bumper, and Cooper and Trago looking to get a very strong run to rebound some momentum. Yellow flags out once again for Smith. And Smith going to go down and around. Alan Rawell not in trouble, but the number 84 machine was indeed. Let's find out why. And Forrest Smith in that number 84 looks to have lost that time. He gets a bit slippery off of exit of turn number 4. Everyone avoids him, thankfully. Cal Filarski gets real lucky there, and they get back on their way, but the yellow flag out for a bit of a safety yellow that time through. So not a bad circumstance, but not a great one. Nonetheless, the 84 goes around and almost goes down swinging. Thankfully, for our sake, he's going to be able to keep on going with not much damage. Forrest Smith back on his way, 84 laps to do it here in Bristol. The Skyfox Designs 200. DJ Stagner holds on in 1st, and Thomas Bressi makes it so in 2nd. How big of a word for the man in the 19 machine, and Hayden Pastorius. We haven't gotten one, appears to be all season long, so let's get him in for the first time tonight. Hayden Pastorius currently going to be in the podium, just within it in that 3rd spot. How you feeling here in Bristol?
I'm feeling pretty good right now. I kind of burned my stuff up a little bit in the first run, so I'm trying to roll the bomb a little bit here in the second, see if I can help save my stuff up a little bit.
And different grooves developing here in Bristol, the low and the high line. Let's cause you to make that switch down to the low.
Well, this is actually kind of like one of the first times I've ever run Bristol where it's had like multiple lanes where you can run. Normally it was just a top lane, but coming here this time, it's the bottom lane's definitely kicked in a little bit better.
And that we have noticed, it looks like the bottom has an awful lot of momentum here. Now, with the shorter runs that we have gotten tonight, restarts are key. What's been the key to your success on them, as getting that jump is all about perfect timing?
For me, it's all about lane choice, being able to count the cars in each lane and trying to guess what lane's going to get the better jump and whatnot. For me, I've taken the bottom and I've gained a few spots on a few different occasions. I took the top last time and I obviously gained, I think, 5 or so spots there. So looking up here right now, I'm kind of still questioning if I want to take the top or the bottom. I guess we have to see.
And that we will. So as it stands, looks like lane choice a big factor now. Tires, we've had one major pit cycle tonight, and degradation. We saw it on that longer green flag run just before halfway. Do you expect that again?
Sorry, I couldn't catch you on that one there. Two guys just bugging my ear off here.
Well, tire wear. Do you think we will see once more after that first run we saw before halfway?
That's hard to tell, actually. I don't think this race is going to get any better right now. I think it's just we're just beginning, like, say the wreck fest, to say least.
And it looks like not a lot in terms of expecting some tires, but nonetheless gaining position all night long. Hayden Pastores will go back green very shortly. Any final thoughts?
Not really. Just hope you guys enjoy it.
And absolutely, Hayden Pastore is going to be third on the board here in Bristol. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Dragging him back on his way, the number 19 machine in Hayden Pastorius. Going to be there inside the podium. He goes up high as Thomas Bressi leads down low. No, he'll go up high as well, and it's going to be DJ Stanger on the bottom groove. The Timothy Johnson machine now in that third spot on the inside line. We'll see whether or not it gets that roll, because an awful lot of drivers have chosen to go up high, down low for various reasons. And now Johnson trying to make it happen on that bottom groove. Now with Thomas Bressi looking to be in control from DJ Stagner. Who gets the edge as they come down to a 1 lap to green signal, this time by 1 lap to green. The iRacing official pace cars lights will go off, and it'll be all up to the drivers once again, as it will be 79 laps to go here from Bristol. And so far, getting by a total of 122. Time has slid here. And of course, hopefully the drivers are having fun on iRacing Motorsport Simulations. If you hope to enjoy the fun of iRacing yourself, use our iRacing referral code in the description. It helps us while we help you. Use promo code PR-HOTLAPS for 3 months of action for only $5. It helps us as much as it can get there, as it's going to be all about iRacing here. iRacing Motorsport Simulation, high quality sim racing since 2008. And now we go at it once again. Going to be Stagner, Bressi, and Johnson as we get moving once more. The 64 and the 24. Look at the settle the score out in front. Green flag once more. And Stagner gets the jump that time by 77 laps to go. Thomas Bressi there in second. Timothy Johnson going to be in third right now, but Hayden Pastores up high. And Johnston, not a quiet run as we have a yellow flag once again, 77 laps to go. Let's find out why. DeWeese involved. Dinsmore there. Big time incident as Braxton DeWeese and Rob Ackley get major damage. Let's look at once more what happened. And it looks like it's going to be Braxton DeWeese getting into Joe Dinsmore there. They get involved. Go right up high, gonna smash into one another. Brian McFerrin gets through. Robwell gets tapped, and that's gonna get rid of the 95's front end as Rob Ackley, major damage there. Braxton DeWeese gonna get caught up in big trouble himself, and now the race of attrition is in full swing. Braxton DeWeese gonna be there with major damage in the 15. Rob Ackley, no front or rear end here, gonna be very hard to keep him going. And Joe Dinsmore losing the front end on that wreck himself, so multiple drivers. Major damage. Kevin Matt's going to be caught up in the back of it. Thankfully for his sake, not a lot of damage. And Brian McFerrin has lost that front end over the course of the race himself. He is now without it in the 21st spot. But we are seeing more and more of action-packed incidents in the tail end of this event. DJ Stagner out in front with Thomas Bressi there in second. And then Timothy Johnson in position number 3. Hayden Pastore is going to be in 4th, and then Jacob Fife in 5th, as Tom Wetmore holds on in position number 6. And with Stanger being the man out in front all night long, we'll see whether or not he's able to hold on to yet another great finish. DJ Stanger, one of the most consistent guys here at Bristol tonight. He's been in the top 5 just about every lap we have run, and now as the race leader, he's looking to close this one out, and hopefully not without any sign of clean racing. Hoping to go without the beating and banging that we've seen as of recent here, and for their sake as the drivers, maybe we'll get it, maybe we will not. As Stagner get around that turn once again, he's there with Bresci, Timothy Johnson in tow, Hayden Pastorius right there, Jacob Fife now rounds out your top 5 as Pastorius is in 4th, and then Timothy Johnson goes into 3rd. Top 2 is Stagner and Bresci. Tom Wetmore comes home. Well, if they came home this time by, he'd be in 6th. Matthew Thorners is in 7th, and Nick Tarbuck could be in 8th. As Travis McQuistion is in 9th, and then finally rounding out the top 10, it is Don Stevenson, who's fought his way back up for the back of the field, all the way up into the front. A commendable effort for the man in the number 47. There in 10th, as out in front, the 64 machine stays, and has an awful lot of time to calculate and debate every move he makes here. And now is a Skyfox Designs 200, whittles down to the final 70-odd laps when we go back green once again. Alan Robbo going to come off pit road that time behind the 43 machine, going to be back on his way, and going to be now a total of 1 lap down. Will he be able to get it back? We will see. Braxton Weiss looks to be retired from this event, 1 down. We'll see whether or not he's going to get back in the car. As it appears, it looks like he has disconnected from the session now, going more than 1 lap down. Kevin Matt's going to be there in the number 50. Casey Shue is in 28th. Cal Filarski, 29th. 3 retirees so far, and those will be Justin Morton, Alan Dobbs, and Braxton DeWeese at the moment. And it seems like Joe Dinsmore there in 24th. As they all come down to the Trues cone once again. Not going to be much of a cone, but more of the start-finish line, as these guys are looking to finish what they started. Stagner out in front, and Thomas Bresci there in 2nd, with Timothy Johnson in position number 3. Hayden Pastore is going to be in 4th, and then Jacob Fife holds on in 5th as we get right back at it once more. 72 laps to go here, and Stagner makes it known that he is not one to mess with. He's still out here as we have 70 laps to green when we get back up into the racing affair. Let's get back into it this time through. Stagner and Bresci. We can see double file. The pace car's lights are off, and we'll be get back at it under green in just a moment's notice. Timothy Johnson going to be in 3rd, Hayden Pastore is going to be in 4th, and Jacob Fife rounds out your top 5. Let's get back into this time by 130 lap mark out of 200, and here we will go again. Going to be the man in that number 64, keeping it nice and smooth in position number 1. And let's get back right into it, as it's going to be the 64 launching us right back into racing with 70 to do it. iRacing official pace car going to be able to dive in. Green flags out, led by the 64 once more. And stripe to stripe that time by DJ Stagner, led that lap, 69 laps to go, and a nice effort for the man in that number 64, holding on as well as he can. It's going to be Thomas Bresci in the 24 in 2nd. Hayden Pastore is fighting with Timothy Johnson there. Travis McQuistion gets right to the wall, able to keep himself going. It looks like he might have been a quarter panel tap, if anything, and despite the damage on that number 93, he's going to be able to race quite hard all night long without much of an issue. Jacob Fife right there with him. Right side damage and rear end damage does not deter the man in the number 93 Ford EcoBoost machine as he boosts himself right through the turns with a lot of momentum off that high side. And Bristol, with banking akin to Daytona or Talladega and the length of something like Martinsville, it is a bit of a Frankenstein's monster, so to speak, as it's going to be all about using every single unique characteristic to one's advantage. Tom Wetmore doing just that right now as he goes down to the outside line of Hayden Pastore's run. He's now going to be able to take that 4th spot for just a moment. We'll be able to get Timothy Johnson. That we will see. And DJ Stagner currently out in front here in that number 64. We have a bit more time. 65. We're going to be on 64 laps to go. So we'll go to your second Next Level Racing commercial break here. Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance products since 2009. We will be right back. We hope you enjoy our brief presentation as we will return shortly. And as we return from our second Next Level Racing advertisement break, Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing performance equipment since 2009, and the best place to go for any purchase necessary, that is going to be Next Level Racing, taking your simulation racing to the next level. As we get back to it after a brief moment there with the cameras, we are back on our way. Stagner there up in front, going to be Thomas Bresci in second as Tom Wetmore holds on in third, and Timothy Johnston makes it so in position number 4. Top 5 guys all going to be single file here as we keep it moving nice and smooth with very little incident out in front. These guys in the top 10 have been able to run a very clean race. The middle of the pack, though, where all the battles have been, has been a bit spicier. Alec Daffin down to the inside line there for the 15th spot on Daniel Foss, and that time by Daffin has a bit of an edge, but certainly not where he wants to be battling. So far, Daffin does seem to have that 8-lap advantage on tire, but not able to use all too much of it just yet, as the man in the number 1 has a plan. We'll see how long he can stick to it, as so far the new tires have not been beneficial the way he's hoped to see it, because we have not been able to replicate that long green flag run that kick-started the tail end of that final segment of the first half. That's going to be a bit of a roundabout way to say that the lap 80 to 90 portion we saw will not see again. Yellow flag is out, and that's going to be yet another reminder. Travis McQuistion involved big time there. We will find out just why he's going to be in an awful lot of trouble trying to keep that thing sorted. And goes down to the inside line on Don Stevenson, going to try to get it onto the inside line, not going to be able to clear himself, and then backs it down to pit road. So the number 93 going to be in a bit of trouble there. And now the Ford EcoBoost machine gets himself back up, almost hits Cal Filarski on the way back, and damage is accumulating big time for him as McQuistion now right behind the number 6. He's currently 22nd on the board here. And the final man on the lead lap is Forrest Smith, but McQuistion not too far off. We'll see if he comes out of pit road this time by to get damage repaired. Certainly going to be a lot of damage to repair if he does do just that. 146 laps in out of 200 as they all come down to pit road. The leaders do indeed. Going to be the 64, the 24, and the 51. This could be your final pit cycle as the 64 goes right in with that number 24. It's going to be the Tube Tech number 51 right there in tow, though. As you can see, they all go down through the back straightaway, and now they come right back up into the front. Look at him go this time by. It's going to be the man in the 64 leading them all into pit road as the lap machines stay out on the circuit to try to get something done here. It looks like Alec Daffin, his experiment will not work out as they all come down to pit road this time by. It's going to be your final pit stop regardless of what happens. So as they all dive in this time through, it's going to be Daffin on pit road alongside Stagner, and then the Tarbuck machine there as they all fly out. The first man looks to be, who else was the man in that number? It's going to be 3 wide. It's going to be the number 51, Wetmore, beating out Ben Bresci, Jacob Flake, going to be Matthews runners, Hayden Pastorius, Don Stevenson, then Brandon Bernhardt, Trevor Trago, Kyle Cooper, Nick Tarbuck, Cody Griffin, and then Alec Daffin. As the remainder of the field goes as follows: Kyle Brooks, Daniel Foster is going to be Carson Bechtel, and Brian McFerrin there. As you can see now, Forrest Smith passes by right behind Travis McQuistion, and Cody Smith goes as well. The pace car going to be back on your frame as Timothy Johnson, your race leader so far in that number 82. A 53-lap gamble with 53 laps to go, and he has been able to hold on to that pit cycle since about lap number 96. He's going to stay out here. Will it work? Maybe, maybe not. It's going to be Boomer Logan, though, in second, Joe Dinsmore in third, and then DJ Stagner, your winner off pit road, it appears, there in fourth, as it's going to be Tom Wetmore in the fifth spot, and then Thomas Bresci in sixth. So a big shakeup in terms of strategy here. Going to be a few guys staying out. A good majority do come in, though, as we now have about just over 50 laps remaining here in Bristol. A big shakeup, as it looks like the guys on the older tires go down to the inside line. Looking to conserve their stuff. That they're going to be able to do so nice and smooth, and they keep it moving side by side. They'll go this time through, and they'll go one to green next time around, as we keep it moving indeed. Gonna be now Don Stevenson far out of this pack, but Timothy Johnson leads with Joe Dinsmore with some major damage on the outside line in second, as Boomer Logan makes his way into third, and DJ Stagner, your winner off of pit road entirely, gonna be rounding out the top four. And how about that? Thomas Bresci rounds at the top five, as is 1 lap to green this time by. And it will be 50 laps of green flag racing when we get back green once again here in the Skyfox Designs 200 Bristol. It's been action-packed, no matter how you slice it. That's always how it comes out. As you can see, the number 82 holds on in first. Joe Dinsmore getting there in second. Boomer Logan is going to be in third, and DJ Stagner on the different tire strategy going to be there in fourth. Now, Boomer Logan's been on the track for 31 laps on his tire set. Joe Dinsmore has been on track for 24 laps with his tire set, and Timothy Johnson has held on for 55 laps. The rest of the field, bar Matt and Filarski, have been on their run for less than 5 laps. That run, very young, so let's get back into it this time by the 82 with the 95 as we get green once again. Here we go, led by Timothy Johnston. And Johnston gets the start he needs despite the older tires. A great jump there. Tom Wetmore, though, going to be able to chase him down. Joe Dinsmore falling back like a rock here with that major damage. It's a shock. He's able to hold on just outside the top 5. Now it's going to be Johnston getting chased by Tom Wetmore. Look to the inside line. The 51 machine does. And to be able to get there like it's nothing. Wetmore already side by side for the race lead, not able to make it so though, and this time by easily, although he drifts up that time by. Gonna be a slide job, and Tom Wetmore puts it in the wall, chasing down a machine on older tires, not a lap machine, but he puts himself in the wall nonetheless, and a slide job to forget. Although for the man in the 82, it's one to remember, as Wetmore chases the lead and chases it one too much. Now going to be in big trouble here, as it's going to be Timothy Johnston holding on in first here. Now DJ Stagner right beside him, and will Stagner make the same mistake? That he does not just yet. He'll be able to make it so and clear the man in that number 82. And it's going to be a big slip up for Wetmore, still going to be just outside the top 5. And how about that? Not taking it easy at all for Buffett. How about that maneuver? And it's going to be a very close call, and it's going to be a slide. And it's now going to be Kyle Cooper struggling to survive in that machine. Cody Griffin's going to be almost in the wall, and he does get himself real out of sorts. And Cody Griffin does hit the wall. Thankfully, no wreck. He's the back of the field, getting close to chaos. And Wetmore still battling just inside that top 5. Despite the damage, it seems like he still has an awful lot of pace. Don't count him out here, as Timothy Johnson now keeping himself in the race here. He's still in position number 2. Undeniable that Timothy Johnson knows what he's doing despite the older set of tires. Look at him go here in position number 2. It looks like he'll be able to hold on. Runner-up spot, and the runner-up man, the DJ Stagner, has 160 laps in. Next time by, he'll be your leader at that mark. 41 laps to go in the last great Coliseum here and now, as the 82 on 64 lap old tires holds on in the podium, and Matthew Burrows clips the wall and gets some damage. The right sides on some machines have been pounded up all night long, and you can see with the close-up drone cameras we have on FTN, he's got an awful lot of damage crumpling up that right front. And Jacob Fife gets down at his inside line there trying to make it happen, and just not able to make that pass just yet. Caution flags out nonetheless with 40 laps to go, and that's going to be for Joe Dinsmore. And he's upside down. And a big hit for Joe Dinsmore, and that sends him down and around, and we'll find out just why. Now Dinsmore gets a tap from Forrest Smith, keeps it at the wall, and he rides the wall, and shades of Casey Kane, and tumbles over, and not able to get it back flipped over until he does. and then he doesn't. Joe Dinsmore rides the wall and gets sent down with a barrel roll of sorts there, and a tap by the man in the 84, and I don't think anyone would have known that that tap would have caused that. Dinsmore, the number 95, in major trouble. The Dragon Ball Z number 95 goes up and over. And a major hit for Joe Dinsmore's chances there. Now going to be multiple laps down, having to tow that one as he does not get flipped over. How about that? You don't see that all too often. Stagner going to be in first, Timothy Johnson going to be in second, and Thomas Bresci there in third. 38 laps to do it here and now, and it's going to get down to the winding down phase very soon, as this could be the final caution, as we have oh so little time. And at Bristol, you can get about 4 laps done in a minute, and that is indicative of how quick this track is. But with yellows like that, you're just not sure of what will come up next. A barrel roll at Bristol, unbelievable, and a wild ride that you don't see all too often. And we will wait to see whether or not DJ Stagner can keep it going. He had a great advantage that time by, and it looked like Timothy Johnston played a great defensive maneuver for him, and it paid off in dividends as the 64 had a major advantage. Doesn't have that advantage anymore, though, quite frankly. And now Tom Wetmore and Jacob Fife have another shot at it. Matthew Thunderst in fourth, getting closer and closer. How about we interview the man who's having just about a career race tonight? Trevor Drago having a great run in the half-mile circuit, and Bristol treating him nicely. How about that for the man in that number 37 as it is? And looks like Drago is available for comment, so let's get him in. Here and now, it is the man in that number 37, Trevor Drago. How you feeling just inside the top 10?
I'm doing all right, just trying to keep it out of trouble and keep the car clean and get a good finish.
And being able to keep that car nice and clean all night long. And it looks like 36 laps to go. We're winding this down ever so slightly, but the yellows and the aggression, they are all still there. What's the key to success in avoiding some of these incidents? We've seen some up front, but most of which have been, of course, in the back.
I feel like it's a mix of track position. You got to find out where the wrecks are happening and be on the other end of it. Whether if they're happening in the front, you want in the back so you're not getting run into it. But with Bristol, it's tough all around because it could happen anywhere.
And it seems to be that is the case. Now, besides Timothy Johnston, every driver came in for their second pit stop on tires here. Do you anticipate that will be it when it comes down to pit stops?
I feel like if we keep getting cautions, nobody's coming back in for tires. But if we get a decent long run and then a caution at the end, I think people might come in.
And it could be all about that final run here in Bristol. Now, we're getting it sorted out, double file already. Any final thoughts?
Just hope I make it to the end. That's pretty much it.
And that is indeed the hope for the man in that top 10. Trevor Drago, a great night for the 37. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Drago going to be back on the move in position number 9. Nice and smooth he's been all night long. And the leader, DJ Stagner, smoother than anyone. As we go 1 lap to green this time by in the Skyfox Designs 200 down to the final, about 17 miles. We come down the straight this time through, and that just shows how quick these guys have been able to get this done in spite of some action and tumultuous driving with a lot of ups and downs, trials, and their tribulations. Now the 64 has come to make sure we can conclude this one as the victor. Johnston, he will not want to be denied at all. He's been able to hold on those old tires for quite a while. Will it be enough, or will he fall this time by and succumb to the field's new ability with the grip? That we will see all this and so much more this time by. Stay tuned. This will be the final run. It could be. It's all going to become a race of attrition. 33 laps to go this time by, led by Stagner. DJ Stagner gets that one done, 33 laps to go, able to make a nice and smooth tear through. And now it's going to be Thomas Bresci down to the inside line on Timothy Johnston. It's going to be Matthew Thunder's position number 4. Jacob Fife going to be in 5th. And Tom Wetmore now going to be side by side with Jacob. And he's had an awful lot of pace. We saw that slide job he put on the man in that 3rd spot now. And with Johnston still holding on to that podium We'll see if he can keep these guys at bay. It's going to be Wetmore falling back just a bit. You can see Jacob Fife there in 5th. And now, we have Pastorius up to the high side as Matthew Thorners able to play that defense nice and smooth, and seldom can a driver do it like Thorners has, as he's now chasing down Timothy Johnston quite well, although now the high side has all the momentum in the world. It's putting a driver like Jacob Fife at a disadvantage. However, he continues to fight here, and it looks like he will not give up, not in the slightest. Looking at the rear end of the Matthew Thorners machine once again. You can see the quarter panel and then the side panel of the Pro Powder and Paint number 36. It is an everlasting mark on the screen here, and for good reason. Jacob Fife, a competitor through and tonight is no different. Down to the inside line once again. The Ashland, Virginia sponsored machine keeps himself right there, and he is slick to the pavement. And despite all the anticipation of moving up to the high side for most drivers, Jacob held on, and he gave it a run for the money of the inside line. Well, it looks like the outside line prevails, and how about that? Jacob Fife falls down just a bit more and tries to slot in. Pastorius, though, gets the better of him that time by. It will not work in his favor. And with that being said, 26 laps to do it here in Bristol. You see Justin Morton getting oh so close to the man in that 36. Johnston still going to be in 3rd here, but it's now going to be Jacob Fife down to the inside line. Will he be able to make it stick that time by? Oh so close, but no cigar that time through indeed, as the USAA machine of the 82 keeps himself right with the 36 and in the mix, both of which are, as it's going to become 24 laps to go this time around. Now, with the 2 leaders so far out in front, Stagner and Bresci, they're just about out of contention for any other spot besides the top 2. And with Bresci there, with Stagner, these 2 drivers have been on their A game all night long. And looking up to the high side, you can see how they go much higher than what we're anticipating for most drivers. And with 23 laps to go, becoming 22, you know what that means. The TrackCams22.com, crank it up. The best cameras on the iRacing service. Visit TrackCams22.com or the link in the description indeed for more information. Track Cams for Gormans, cranking it up live on FTN. Will be right back uninterrupted. And with 19 laps to go, looks like our crank it up has been stalled just a bit early. Yellow flag is out, and Jacob Fife has a bit of rear end damage, but I don't believe that he will be the cause. Cal Filarski looks to be perhaps the reason for this. Yellow has a bit of damage on his end, so let's find out just what happened. As the number 6 machine going to be there, as Daniel Foss sees another car go around, and that's going to be Carson Bechtel. He will go down around a big time there. A barrel roll going to land flat that time by. And Kyle Cooper has it drifted. Like it's Toku able to save it. But then it's going to be Daffin coming right up into him. Unbelievable. And that one's going to be really hard to decipher from a very quick angle. We'll send it back with a much closer shot and take an instant replay. And this time by, let's make a bit of a more evaluated assessment, having to take a further examination at how that damage came to be. Now Daffin's coming up here, and then it looks like they get into Kyle Cooper, or do they? No, that's going to be netcode, and he gets flipped over like a can, and they never make contact. And how about that caution for cause, even if the number 59 never went around, but Carson Bechtel goes for the second blowover, or rather the second barrel roll of the night, and he gets taken by storm. The field comes rushing in. Brian McFerrin there on Kyle Cooper there as well. Then Cody Smith, Daniel Foss. But that's something you've never seen before in iRacing. I'm almost certain 2 upside down flips and barrel rolls in Bristol. And it looks like Bechtel, as shocked as we are there, takes a moment just to pause and reflect. As DJ Stagner right now, no time for reflections. no time for anything but victory. And with that being said, it will be less than 15 laps to go and we go green. So we'll get this one out of the way to make sure that your viewing experience is uninterrupted from here on out. Next Level Racing, the highest quality sim racing equipment since 2009. NextLevelRacing.com. The way to go for the proud partner of the Integrity Ignite series as we return after one final brief break. And to ensure our viewers did not miss a thing, that is our third and final Next Level Racing advertisement break of the night. A proud associate of the Integrity Racing League and the Integrity Ignite series. Looking to light the fuse, this is NextLevelRacing.com, the best sim racing equipment since 2009. DJ Stagner going to be in first, 186 laps into a run at Bristol, and the Skyfox Designs 200 comes down to its final 7 miles when we come across the stripe, this time by the choose rule in effect once more. Stagner goes down to the inside line. Bressie fakes it, and he will make it up to the high side as it will be Jacob Fife on the inside line. No, he will stay up high as Stunners goes down low, and it looks like he'll be able to make it so up to the high side real quick there as no other driver opting to take it, and the number 8 machine there in front of the field in third. Bressie, defending winner at Talladega, looking to get it done at a short track. He's in second. And then we got DJ Stagner. Who else was the man of 64 who has dominated all night long? And then push comes to shove. These two drivers, first and second, of course, look to be the two to get it done. And it'll be all about Stagner and Bressie when they come down into it. Next time by, the show will get rolling, and it will be between Stagner and Bressie once again. 14 becomes 13 laps to go this time by. It will be a dozen laps to do it. We get the race back under motion, and it's going to be very little time to claim the victory. You want to do it here and now? Well, you will have to, as there will be no other opportunity until you get down to next week. And of course, these guys want it whenever they can get it. Opportunity right in front of them. The checkered flag is within reach, and I'd say that about 10-15 drivers have a legit shot here on pace as we get back to it this time by. Stagner and Bressie make it so. It's the number 64 machine, leads them down this time by. The iRacing official pace car lets them be a dozen to do it. Green flag out once more. Yellow flag's out once again. And that's going to be back in the field. It's going to be Casey Shue, and Carson Bechtel gets involved, it appears. And we'll find out just why. And Shue going to see that Alec Daffin goes down to the inside line, and the number 4 machine tries to get a run of the 59. It looks like he spins them around there, gets into him, and they tag one another. And yellow flags out as Daniel Foss almost goes for a third blowover. And for his sake, luckily to keep himself on the ground, he'll be able to keep going, but very, very close to another airborne moment there. And we'll take a word on board for the number 83 to see how it was within the cockpit as another driver gets nearly tipped over at the tail end of this one. And thankfully, for his sake, the yellow flag out as he is out of control. And sky high in the Skyfox Designs 200, he's absolutely off the track. No wheeling it for a moment, but then getting back on the circuit there as drivers such as Kevin Matt's able to avoid him there. And how about that once again? 10 laps to do it here from Bristol, and he'll be able to get back on his way. Daniel Foss does, but not without major damage down on pit road as the leaders fly by once more. 10 laps to do it here in Bristol, and it will be all but done for when we get a longer green flag run in. Not much longer than they can get from here on out as the Skyfox Designs 200 now nearing its conclusion, and the number 64 in Stagner knows that patience has been key all night long, and now it's going to be all about persistence as he's been able to keep himself intact throughout every incident thus far. 1 or 2 more cautions might not affect them all too much unless we get sent into overtime. That is possible, but so far it does not look to be probable as the yellow flag comes out once again here in Bristol. And the number 64 holds on to the lead of this show, and it's going to be Thomas Bresci in second, Matthew Thunhorst in third, Jacob Fife in fourth, Timothy Johnston in the fifth spot, Hayden Pastorius in sixth, Don Stevenson in seventh, Trevor Trago in eighth, and Brandon Bernhardt in ninth. As the man who rounds out the top 10 is Forrest Smith in position number 10. Now 9 laps to do it. It's going to become 8 laps to go on your screen in just a moment, and that it does become as 193 laps in out of 200. It looks like Timothy Johnston, despite staying on his tire set for almost 100 laps as is, he is still in contention for this one. And how about the run he's been able to put on? 98 laps. He's only fallen down a total of 4 spots with all the new tires in front of him and all the competition in this league. That is far from something to laugh at, something to point out. He has been putting on a great show, an anomaly to any of the driver tonight, and his use of the high line as a means of defense and offense has been impeccable. One to watch and one to learn from as a driver, as it's going to be the number 64 down on the inside once again. Your front row has been determined, and it will be led by Stagner, Thomas Bresci there in tow, and then it will be the man in third, Matthew Thunhorst. As you can see, Jacob Fife there in fourth has some major damage on that rear, and the number 36 has something caved in, and it looks like the rear end plate is absolutely gone. The back bumper has been destroyed. Take a look at the 64 machine here, and you can see the 64 out in front, but take a closer look at the 36, and you'll see there's nothing there on the bumper. It is a gaping hole, and iRacing doesn't even show you all too much. There is nothing to speak of, and that will maybe play into the role of the number 36 later in this run. Aerodynamics don't affect the driver all too much on a track like Bristol, but every ounce or every inch of damage that you have, it will play into your performance and your speed. And performance, it might not be all aerodynamic. It might come down to the engine. The motors that have less damage have the best chance to win. It's that simple, and right now, 2 clean cars in Stagner and Bresci lead us once more. Let's get back into it once again. The 64 and the 24 with the iRacing official pace car leading them off once again. Here we go. Led by the number 64. It's going to be Chevy on Chevy. Then your highest scoring Ford in third. And it's going to be the iRacing pace car, the Ford Mustang right off. Here we go again. Led by the 64. Green flags out with 5 laps to go from Bristol. And the yellow flag's out with 5 laps to go once again. And this will send us to overtime. Brian McFerrin involved. And another incident means we will go into overtime here. And I do believe we have 3 attempts. McFerrin gets knocked by Nick Tarbuck. And the yellow flag's out. Thankfully, only one driver gets involved in Joe Dinsmore. And there you have it. 4 to go. Another group of drivers involved in a wreck. And Stagner out in front. He'll have to keep himself out in front and perhaps win it all over again, as we will go back and pass the extended margin of laps. It's going to be much past 200 at this rate. We will see how long we go, as we will most definitely pass the 200 lap mark at this pace. Most drivers are double filed up once again, as we got just about a lap in at the very most that time around. It will be a 2 lap dash to get it done here in Bristol when we choose to get it back on our way. It looks like the iRacing official pace car is still on the circuit, so we have just a bit more time than what we anticipated, and hopefully there in just a moment. Bresci in second, then Matthew Thunderson third, Jacob Fife in fourth. Skarzan Bechtel goes up high, position number 5. He's not in. He's currently going to be in position number 24. And 198 laps in out of 200 make that 199. We have extended the race officially. This will be a green-white checkered. We get back under green. It will be 2 more laps to go. It will be 1 green flag lap, and then when we get to the white flag, we will have the race verified no matter what happens. Now, there is a possibility we do not get that at white flag, and if we get any caution before, the race gets extended once again. If we get to the white flag, that will be it. When the checkered flag follows, the race is over no matter what happens. Yellow flag or a green flag run to the black and white checkered flag. and we'll see whether or not Stagner, Bresci, or Thunders will be able to come out on top. Certainly now, everyone of which hope for that final opportunity to be theirs as we come down to the stripe once again. Stagner knowing to wait just a bit more as we will now have 3 laps to go once again, and it will be a continuous cycle of laps extending until we go back at it. It looks like we'll have about 204 laps on the agenda when we get back under green here. 202 currently slated for the schedule. It will only extend until we go back under green once again. DJ Stagner out in front over Thomas Bresci. Matthew Thunders is going to be in third. Jacob Fife is in fourth. Timothy Johnson going to be in fifth. Hayden Pastore is going to be in sixth. Don Stevenson going to be in seventh. Trevor Trago is in eighth. And Brandon Bernhardt is in ninth as Forrest Smith rounds out your top 10. And Smith involved with the first blow over the first barrel roll of the night, able to gain major spots in this final stretch. Restart Devin key for him as it stands. 28 drivers still on the circuit. Joe Dinsmore, 29 laps down, is still racing. Leaves us with only 3 retirees on the night so far, and only one of which of these drivers will be able to come home with the victory. As we get back to it next time by, it appears it will be a total of 204 laps to get this one done, and the checkered flag will fly at 2:04 if we don't get one more yellow in this one. It is all possible as the night goes on. We will get one more caution, but it does not appear to be probable. We will see if we make it one more lap, and that will be it. Get the white flag, unless, of course, tumultuous circumstances befall the drivers of the Integrity Ignite Series once again. And it will be 1 lap to go under yellow this time by before we get back at it for our first green-white checkered attempt of the night. And the man in the 64, DJ Stagner's been waiting for this one all night long. The final run to the checkers, and it's going to be his if he gets it done. The blackout number 64 has been in the position to score the W all night long, about the most consistent man throughout the entirety of this event, and now it could be time for him to shine and come home the winning man. Down to the inside line, Stagner going to be with Thomas Bresci. This time I'm going to be 2 laps to green from Bristol. Green-white checkered attempt number 1 is going to be underway in the last great Coliseum. And Stagner gets the jump he needs there. Thomas Bresci going to be there in second. Matthew Thunders going to be in third. Going to be side by side, beating and banging. Bresci goes down to the inside line. He'll be leading when they come down to the white this time by. It's going to be all for naught. It's going to be 1 lap to go. The race will be official. And the 24 has the edge on the inside line. Stagner right there on the high. Going to get a major run. They'll be coming to the back straight with a lot of momentum. A head full of steam. Stagner on the high side and Thomas Bresci on the low. But he pushes and it will not be enough. The man out in front all night long gets it done. DJ Stagner wins the Skyfox Designs 200, and he wins it all over again in overtime. And Stagner gets it done, and he did not stagnate. He only moved up throughout the entirety of the event, and the 64 wins from the remainder of the field. How about that for him? And it was a great showing for the man in the 64, and how about it once more? DJ Stagner winning his first race of the season in Bristol, and a race of attrition, a race of ecstatic moments, a race, of course, of high energy action. Stagner, the man on top, as he comes down to the checkered flag once again to burn it down. We'll get your race results right before him. DJ Stagner wins by 0.3 of a second over Thomas Bresci, and Jacob Fife rounds out the top 3. Matthew Thunder is going to be in that 4th spot. Timothy Johnson from 10th to 5th on the night, and Hayden Pastore is going to be able to come home in 6th, just 6 tenths back himself. Brandon Bernhardt going to be 7 tenths back in 7th, and 8 tenths back. Forrest Smith is in 8th, as Don Stevenson holds on in 9th, and Trevor Trago looks to lock up, not the hard charger, but gets real close, 30th to 10th on the night. A great run for the man in that number 37. And from there on out, Cody Griffin 1 second down. Then Travis McQuiston, Gael Brooks, Tom Wetmore, Cody Smith in 15th. Alec Davin position number 16. As Kyle Cooper holds fort in 17th. Rob Ackley makes it home in 18th. And Alan Romwell comes home in 19th. As Carton Bechtel, despite all the incident, comes home in that top 20. The remainder of the field going to go as follows. Kevin Matz, Brian McFerrin, Boomer Logo, and the final driver behind Boomer Logan in that lead lap going to be Nick Tarbuck, as Casey Shue 6 down. The retirees not going to be there just yet. Cal Filarski, Daniel Foss, and Joe Dinsmore make it home, as the retirees such as Braxton Weiss, Alan Dobbs, Justin Morton, and Brandon Wedger. They do not. And it's going to be DJ Stagner celebrating this one right behind us here in Bristol. Look at the burn that 64 machine is. And how about that for the man out in front? DJ Stagner burned it down from Bristol, baby. And celebration for Stagner after a long, hard-fought battle. Up in front, he gets it done, and far from victory. He was not all night long, and the man in that number 64 comes home. Position number 1 after a hard-fought race indeed. The race winner, and nobody was on him. The night had itself written all over the number 64, and the 64 had himself written all over the Skyfox Designs 200, winning here in Bristol after a hard-fought race of attrition. You come home first. How do you feel after this one?
Oh man, it's a little bit of relief. I about choked the whole thing away there at the end. Was watching my mirror and not watching out front, and tagged the wall and about let the 24 by, but I was luckily able to just hold the top and hold him off.
And a great hold off there. This race going into overtime with a very, very chaotic final 10-15 laps. Now, what was the key to success there? As it seems like the key to success all night long was running out in front. How did the strategy play out on your side?
Yeah, it was really all about track position. You knew if you got in the back, it was pretty much over, or at least going to be a tall task. So it was, every restart was just go and try to maintain. And then, if you got a gap, you could run the bottom and save a little bit. But it was, every restart was just super intense.
And a very intense run, absolutely. The 64 machine tire strategy, not major tonight, but how did it go out for you? Because tire degradation did become a factor later in the going. Looked to be a two-stopper for everyone tonight, about a 100-lap run, then a 50-lap run. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, I think we were pretty okay on tires. I had some pretty good coaching. I didn't really have any tire issues. It was just more of making sure that we stayed on cycle with everybody else.
And it looks like cycle you were able to stay on. The fastest lap you ran all race long was that last one. So how about that? Looking at our telemetry there, 15.247 comes home to the top of the board for the entirety of the event. Just a bit over Justin Morton's number there. So 2.5 range in the decimals. You made it there. Very quick car all night long. So when it came down to it, a lot of great drivers up in front. What kept you out with the edge?
I had Seth Noel was spotting for me, and Ty, and I had a bunch of guys there and making sure that everybody was aware of what was going on, and we just communication, really. That's really what it comes down to. Communication, making sure we knew what was going on and what everybody else was doing, more importantly, and what I could do better to match others.
And it looks like consistency and patience was king here tonight in the Integrity Nights here for the man who comes out on top now from a super speedway to a short track. And everything in between we've seen already. Next up on the schedule, though, going to be something far from both of which. The Nürburgring GP configuration. And that's going to be a very, very unique race. Once again, going international, this time to the Nürburgring. So how will it be to replicate the success we've seen from you as of recent?
Well, I'll be completely honest. I don't know whether the first turn at that track is a right or a left. I don't know whether the second is a right or a left. So it's pretty much blind right now. I have no idea what to expect or even where to begin. So that'll be something throughout the week to work on. But, right now I'm just happy that this one played out the way it did.
And playing out in your favor, DJ Stagner, win number 1 on the season for you and the Skyfox Designs 200. Any final thoughts? And now, what else you'd like to thank?
Everybody over at Swamp Motorsports, Ty, Cotter, Ryan, Potter, just everybody over there. We're a pretty good team, and luckily we work together pretty well. And Seth, he was an all-star spotter, so couldn't ask for anything better.
And it looks like a great team effort for the man of the 64 coming out on top here for Swamp Motorsports. DJ Stagner winning from Bristol. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And how about that for Staggers? The man coming home in second had that battle all night long, or rather all night long. And it looks like something going wrong there at the tail end, but oh so close to a back-to-back victory after a win at Talladega. Second here in Bristol. Oh so close. How was that in front here in the half mile? Last great Coliseum.
Close, but no cigar, unfortunately. It just needed Dumb and Dumber to quit causing problems in the back and wrecking every 3.5 seconds. It's just stupid, whatever was going on at the back. There was just a whole bunch of nonsense going on. It just doesn't need to happen, which is frustrating because we were having a good race up front. Not just myself and DJ, but just in general, the racing was good. And I did not need all those cautions at the end because the restart box is still kind of screwy for whoever's on the front row that's not the leader. So whoever was basically going to be second was just getting screwed on the restarts. And I needed at least a lap to kind of close that gap back in. And then just, yeah, I don't know. I was going to try, like, had we had a few more laps, I mean, DJ was doing a really good job working the bottom. And then when I'd get to him, he would kind of move up and take the top away from me. And I was better on the top. I just couldn't quite make the bottom work as well as he could. But probably the next time, if we'd had a decent enough run when I got there, I probably would have given him just, a little nudge to see if I could get by him. If he slid up in front of me again, just in the closing stages. But we never got a chance because we kept crashing. So, at least I got a lap lead taking the white there. It was good to at least run up front. Qualified well, which was nice for a change. It's kind of in a weak spot this year and got some halfway points and just at least had a decent points night. So can't be too upset about that.
And a solid night indeed, although it did seem to get a bit chaotic throughout the field all night long. Tires were not too big of a factor, but it seemed like you were on cycle with the good majority of the field here. So what did the tires mean to you as the night went on?
Yeah, the tires actually, assuming we actually got to run a long run, actually started to matter a good bit. Like that first long run that we had, I think it was like lap 40, 45 or something to maybe around halfway or a little before that, like 50 lap run or whatever. The top three kind of checked out. And because, I mean, they were running really hard. They were ripping the bottom. And I was kind of just hanging out, running the top, just being easy with my inputs and just trying to take care of it. And I really felt like at the back portion of that run, I really started to make some ground. I was starting to pick a couple guys off. And, I felt like I was catching the leaders. So had we actually had a chance to go green, I felt like I probably would have been really in good shape on a long run. We just never really had the chance. So they definitely mattered. And I think you saw that a little bit too, where the one stayed out, which I thought was kind of crazy coming to the halfway when the rest of us pitted and he dropped back pretty quick. So, just one of those deals where, you just have to pace yourself. It's so easy to run Bristol because the car can run really, really hard. But in race pace, race trim, you kind of have to know where to dial it back and how to make sure that you're there if the race actually goes green, which I felt like I was doing okay with. I felt like I at least had some decent, short run speed. Probably wasn't the fastest when it came to short run speed, but, close enough at least. So still a good night overall. Can't be too upset.
And a good night to come back from a victory, second on the board. So back-to-back podiums in that regard. And the next race on the schedule going to be the Nürburgring here. So going to be a great showing there, but going to be much different. Once again, for the super speedways and the short tracks, this one won't be between. It's going to be a bit further out international. Once more, how's it going to be out in the Nürburgring?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for that one. I like the road courses anyways, but of the two that we have on the schedule for this season, I'm really, really excited about the Nürburgring. The internal road course fan in me would be really happy if we were running the Nordschleife, although everyone else would probably hate it, which, that's fair. But I'm really excited that we're running the GP course. It actually suits these cars really, really well, I think. And it has a good mix of some slow speed stuff, some nice flowing medium to high speed corners, and some good passing opportunities. So I think it'll be a good race. I know turn one's going to be tricky for sure, but I think otherwise, I think it'll be a fun race. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see if we can't try and get maybe another win on the season next week.
And looking to go back to victory lane. Oh, so close for the man of the 24 machine, Thomas Bresci, and final thoughts. Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just as usual, just shout out to the Integrity admin team for all the work that they've done, all of our series partners and sponsors for their support. You, of course, for putting on the broadcast and getting our product out to everybody. All the fans, of course, that tuned in. Hope you enjoyed the racing. Again, congrats to DJ on the win. It was very well earned. And yeah, we'll see you all next week.
And over to see Thomas Bresci up in front once again next week, second on the board here in the Skyfox Designs 200. Thank you once again.
See you, man.
And at the third spot, the man in the final position on the podium, Jacob Fife, the 36, a silent night, but able to come home in the third spot, so a great run nonetheless. How are you feeling after this one?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. I mean, we didn't have a great qualifying start to start out our night, so I was a little worried. Able to use the choose rule to kind of gain a couple rows there, make a couple strategy plays, and yeah, just managed to hang on to third there. It was really tricky at the end to try to stay out of trouble and keep momentum up to kind of maintain the position you're in, especially once you get towards the front. So really happy with the finish, and glad to hopefully get on a little bit of a roll here.
And hopefully able to get it a roll, as it is a great way to start it. Now, Bristol, a very action-packed track, chaos all night long. What was your strategy in avoiding it as the top two guys, top three, whoever it was, seemed to be able to run away from the field?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping we'd have some longer runs there, which never quite came to fruition. But the guys in the channel with me basically kind of committed to the bottom line. I think if you ever got into a longer run, that bottom line was going to prevail, and you could make passes there, which we kind of started to see a couple times, but just never got extended runs to do that. But luckily, had a long enough run, just enough to start to gain those positions, and then the caution will come out, so you restack it, try again. But yes, be on the bottom and just save tires as much as you could, and then just avoid the carnage, which seemed like a lot of the stuff for whatever reason was pretty far back in the field. I don't ever really remembering being in front or behind a wreck, except for maybe once or twice. So that part is kind of unfortunate, because I think otherwise you'd have some really long green flag runs and it'd be a very interesting race. But yeah, just commit to your strategy, stick to the bottom, and as the tires wore out, you could pick some people off for sure.
And it was able to be a very, very calculated process for the 36 camp, picking people off. Now, strategy and tires did not matter all too much, it appeared. A good amount of the guys were on cycle there. So was there anywhere when it came to that aspect of the race?
No, not really. I thought about taking two tires at one point, but we were making pretty decent progress in our current cycles that we were doing. So I decided to stay away from that. It was I was a little worried too. I was pretty loose going into the corner to try to kind of complete the corner out as far as just not getting tight or anything off. So I didn't want to put two tires on and escalate that any more than I already had it. So we kind of, like I said, stuck to the plan. 4 tires. I think I knew I think we pitted last to like lap 145 or so. I knew that was going to be the last pit stop. You don't want to take an extra set and get caught in the back. Even though it's an advantage tire-wise, it's just really hard to pass. So you kind of pick your point of like, okay, this is the last time I'm pitting, and then you just kind of make whatever bed you lie in after that.
And either way, a great run here with a lot of action. Jacob Fife, third on the board of the short track. Now the next schedule, the race is going to be a much different course. The Nürburgring going to be a much different change of pace, as we mentioned. A road course once more international. What's it going to take to come out on top there?
That's a great question. First of all, it's going to take me seeing if I own the track. That's a good place to start. Now, it is what it is. I didn't do too great at Okayama when we were there a couple weeks ago, so I've got some work to do to kind of figure out how road course racing works with these cars compared to the next gen. Like when we go to COTA tomorrow night for the next gen series, I feel more confident in how that'll go for me compared to our Ignite series B cars. So we'll get some laps in to find out. That's for sure.
And that we will. Well, Jacob Fife having to figure out the Nürburgring, gets it done. The last great Coliseum, third on the board tonight. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for doing this. We really appreciate it. You do a great job. Obviously, thanks to the admin group that does the Monday night stuff for Integrity. We have a larger admin group, and we all do it. I feel we do a nice job of kind of keeping things moving along. So appreciate Boomer and Calvin and that crew for running things. And then obviously, I'd be a little remiss if I didn't mention our sponsors with Pro Powder and Paint, who helps on Tuesday nights, and the Next Level Racing, who does a lot to help us as far as our champion for the season is going to get a sim rig. They just came out with some new stuff, so make sure to check out nextlevelracing.com. They have some Ferrari branded stuff they came out with earlier today. It's pretty cool stuff, pretty top of the line effort they have going on over there. So like I said, if you have a chance to check them out, nextlevelracing.com is the place to go.
And absolutely it is, but Jacob Fife, the place to go for him. Third tonight here in Bristol in the Skyfox Designs 300. Well, not 300. We got closer to that than we expected. Overtimes, but the 200-mile event, or rather 200 laps. Man, oh man. Third of the night nonetheless. Jacob Fife, thank you for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You have it, Jacob Fife on the way, and the man who comes home in third in our 200-lap event, well, our next 200-mile event going to be coming oh so soon. Is Nürburgring going to be a great one to watch, and we are looking forward to that one very, very dearly. Now, Nürburgring, an international road course, once again, the first of which we went to was in Okayama, and that was for 150 kilometers worth of action. Now, next time we go at it, it's going to be for a total of what appears to be just about 300. So I'm thinking that's going to be about 300 kilometers. So if we got it a bit tongue-twisted, the Nürburgring on the mind. The Task Force 300 GP, the next up in the Integrity Ignite series, as the Octane tiers will come right back at you with the Circuit of the Americas for 34 laps of action tomorrow night. We hope you all enjoy tonight's broadcast as we get into the next one in just a few hours time, 24 of which as the Integrity Octane series will roll off next. This has been the Skyfox Designs 200 live on FTN. Hope you all enjoy the broadcast as we sign this one out. DJ Stagger comes home on top of the board here in Bristol at the last great Coliseum and comes home as is. Got to thank you all for watching once again. Hope you enjoy the presentation. Looks like Nick Tarba coming to the chat as well. Thank you all for stopping by as we wrap this one up. Thank you all once more. We hope you have a great night.